Hello, boys and girls. You're listening and watching Peter Talks Smackdown. How you guys doing? I hope everyone's doing fine. If you are watching on YouTube, I'm being that guy right now. I'm actually rocking my shirt. I made this shit like a million years ago. But it says Ellen Japanese, which is like my artist hip hop DJ name where I've rapped and like DJ. I DJ now and I make beats. So if you're on SoundCloud and you listen to all of the podcasts being Peter and Jake Talks Wrestling, Peter Talks Smackdown, The New Day, Peter Talks Wrestling, with all the beats at the beginning, even this one, I made. Like, I make beats. Hopefully I'll make some more over time, but you know, it's not like my first. It used to be my first love. Now my first love is talking to you guys about wrestling. So if you're on the SoundCloud page, people who are watching on YouTube, go to the Ellen Japanese SoundCloud page, and then there's a link that says Ellen Japanese Beats. A lot of the beats that I use the intro for are also in the playlist for beats, Peter's Beats and shit, or something like that. So check that out. If you like them, give me some feedback, because I want to make more, but I don't know if they're good. I think they're good. I use them for the intro. I love it. Even the cuts and stuff from Peter and Jake Talks Wrestling. But enough about that. I hope everyone's had a crazy fucking wrestling week. I mean, it's been nuts. Now, I've been complaining about the build-up for Payback for quite some time, but to talk about it now, I talked about it in Peter and Jake Talks Wrestling. To talk about it now, I have to say that, again, it met all expectations. Maybe there are other people who are just like, oh, your standards are lowered so much to the fact that something like Payback, you're settling for that. And I go, well, maybe not. I watch wrestling because I enjoy it. And I don't look forward to always taking jabs at it. It'll never be what it was. So if you go into it with expectations, whether it's a Monday Night Raw, even though they suck, I mean, again, they suck sometimes. But just like Matt Landis said, a lot of wrestling sucks. But when it's good, it's fucking great. And that's where I stand. You know, maybe there are times where I'm not as happy, but then there's times where I'm really happy. And this week of wrestling, outside of even WWE, has been pretty fucking amazing. Starting from Payback, the Monday night afterwards. Last week we had Global Wars from New Japan meets ROH. You had the NXT Takeover, and it's like Lucha Underground. You know, you had big news out of TNA being dropped from Destination America, which blows me away, because I thought the level of success that they were looking for versus all the rest of their other content was pretty decent. If they were getting like 200, 300,000 people watching on a channel that's hard to get, you know what I'm saying? But that wasn't good enough. Even with the addition to Billy Corgan, who has already fame attached to him, it just blows me away that they just decided to drop it. Global Force Wrestling is still making way, still trying to come up with some stuff. They're doing their tours now with their roster. I mean, say what you want if you're like the pessimistic wrestling fan, but like, if there's ever a time over a very long time that it's great to be a wrestling fan, it's right now. And it's not always going to be peaches and creams. It's not. It's just not. So I'm not going to sit here and fool myself in the fact that, like, oh, it's all great. It's not all great. But I enjoy each individual product for what it is. So again, it's kind of tough to just say, hey, if you don't like it, don't watch it. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, well, if you're going to watch it, at least try to enjoy it. You know? If it's just a matter of you having to do podcasts or like videos, and that, you know, the fact that you're doing these videos is the reason why you watch wrestling, maybe this isn't like the video podcast thing you need to be doing. Maybe you like watches. Maybe you like cheese. Maybe you like fucking like Game of Thrones. Do podcasts on that. You can still continue to have a career in podcasting and video making and actually enjoy the content to be able to relate to your audience. All right, so that out of the way. I hope everyone got to watch everything over the past week. I'm still trying to catch up on the Global Wars. I just finished watching the NXT TakeOver yesterday, and I have to say, before I move on to SmackDown, that the Divas division, the Divas division with that match between Sasha Banks and fucking Becky Lynch, the Divas division has to have a makeover soon. It really does. They can't go with this type of wrestling and the type of presentation of the Divas that they have now with this wave of fucking girls coming in that are straight wrestlers. Now, I don't watch Shimmer. If you have watched Shimmer, and below, like, leave a message on how Shimmer is, if it's anything relative to, say, what the Divas are doing or the women are doing on NXT, then I would just start watching that shit, because good wrestling is good wrestling. Women wrestling takes on a whole different fucking monster in itself and how they go about it than the men. So, I don't know. There's got to be an overhaul, and starting with getting rid of the Divas Championship. It has to go back to the Women's Championship. The NXT Championship for the females is called the Women's Championship. And they're women wrestlers, not divas. So that's all I say about that. And with the plugs, again, pjtwcentral.com, where you can catch all the archives of Peter and Jake Talks Wrestling, Fasten in the World podcast, which is like the NXT review with Jake and Fritz. Peter Talks Wrestling with That's No More. It's become the New Day podcast. We got a Memorial Day special coming up because we haven't talked in forever, and we're going to be talking about like wrestling news and things that we watched over the past 3 weeks, because we didn't do one last Friday or what, a Friday before, and all these Peter Talks Smackdowns that are in video format. You can follow me on Twitter, Ellen Japanese, from the shirt, LINJAPANESE, and that's on all formats, whether it's Twitter, Instagram, even if you Snapchat, all that shit. Like, just follow that. And the Peter and Jake Talks Wrestling Twitter account is PJTW Central. So follow that as well. Sometimes I do live tweets, and this and the other. I send updates, and also subscribe. Hit that button down there and subscribe to the Peter and Jake Talks Wrestling YouTube. Go to SoundCloud, Ellen Japanese, and subscribe to that. I'm always posting things wrestling related. You also have a Tumblr account. Subscribe to the Tumblr. If you have the Peter and Jake Talks Wrestling Tumblr, if you have a Stitcher radio account, you can subscribe via Stitcher. You can like thumbs up, all that shit, leave comments. We need some traffic going there. And if you have your own individual way of listening to your podcast, whether it's iTunes or Podbean or whatever like that, at pjtwcentral.com, there is also, with all the places you can go, you can also get the RSS feed. So you can load that shit in. So whenever something goes up, it will go directly to your podcast of choice. So without further ado, let's talk about this SmackDown. And if you've been paying attention, they got the Elimination Chamber coming up. It was supposed to be a house show, but it's turned into a pay-per-view, but not a pay-per-view, but a special event that is only for the WWE Network. I think this month is free, so you can sign up for free, but like I guess you have that hour window to unsubscribe to get the free show and then not have to pay. But, you know, it is what it is. Support the WWE Network. It really is the flagship for how TV entertainment is going to take into the future. Everyone, ESPN is looking at this. CBS is looking at this. AMC is looking at this. All of these fucking people, they're looking at this as a model to how how their content is going to be distributed in the future. And I really feel bad for, I don't feel bad for, fuck them. Time Warner or DirecTV, like, they're in trouble. The WWE and the MLB is doing their own networks, and they're going to be basically the Wrights brothers, the first in flight. Everyone's going to look at what they do, and then they're going to sort of follow suit. And so supporting WWE, if you're sick of paying like $200, $150 for like content where you only watch 2 or 3 networks, this is the model that's going to be the future. So you don't have to pay that much for the content that you want. So if you're paying $200, so if you're paying $200 for a subscription to DirecTV or all that shit, Time Warner Cable, even with the 5, let's just say you only watch 5 things. That's only $50 if they're gonna do it at $9.99. That's $50 of all the only content that you ever care to watch, versus hundreds of thousands of fucking channels and shit that you never watch. So watch the WWE Network. I plan on watching Elimination Chamber. I plan on doing like a reaction vid, just like I did for Extreme Rules, for Payback, even for WrestleMania. So I hope you tune into that. So let's talk about SmackDown. And this week's SmackDown is out of Norfolk, Virginia. Well, I'm not from Norfolk, but I'm from northeastern North Carolina, a town called Murfreesboro. And Norfolk and Portsmouth, Suffolk, Newport News, Virginia Beach, all those cities, I'm considered the Hampton Roads area. So when I was a kid, I would always make trips up to Norfolk or Virginia Beach just to hang out, go to the mall and stuff like that. So it was kind of cool to see that the WWE was like kind of in my stomping grounds. I can dig it. But this episode starts off, they got the Elimination Chamber and shit, right? So they're doing like shotgun build to it. So everything's like out of control, like fucking out of control to build towards this. And a better build actually than Payback. They had like 3 weeks. And then after Elimination Chamber, this special event, they got to move on to Money in the fucking Bank. And that's what this was all about. Like this Roman Reigns. It's like they're already setting up shop for Money in the Bank, because Reigns comes out, and you know what? I always get mad about him like walking down the ramp with look like he doesn't want nothing to do with the people. He had actually a little more energy with the people this time. So kudos to you. Get better at that shit, man. If you're gonna keep walking down that ramp, look like you want to fucking walk down the ramp. But he just talks about how he's, what's next for him, and the fact that he's in the back of the line, but he has a game plan. My game plan is to enter the fucking Money in the Bank. And it's just like, whoa, I didn't even think they were going to bring that up so soon because they got the Elimination Chamber. But lo and behold, Roman Reigns, I think this will probably be his first ladder match. But he's entering the Money in the Bank match, and he may just win. I mean, if I put my money on him when the prediction time comes around, put my money on Roman Reigns. They're going to give him opportunity after opportunity. I don't give a fuck, even if he doesn't deserve it. And Ambrose comes out, and he's basically talking about how, yeah, I would join the ladder match, that's my shit, but I'll be champion by then, so I'm not going to be in it. So, and I'm curious if he will be eligible for the money. He will be, but like, how would he be kayfabe Peter Hour? How would he be eligible if he doesn't win? Maybe he goes to the back of the line. He's going to get another shot just like everyone else who keeps losing, but at the top of the fucking list. And then Kane comes out, and he's basically telling Reigns, hell no, you're not in, or you haven't deserved it, so you're not in the Money in the Bank. And in order for you to get back in any kind of career, championship opportunity, you had to prove it to me. And then Ambrose talks shit. He's like, all right, motherfucker, you want to talk shit? Here's a rematch with Bray Wyatt from Monday. And Roman Reigns, you take the night off. All right, and that's the first segment. Titus O'Neil wins the Celebrity Mega Dad of the Year. Now, I haven't looked into it, but he was going up against Denzel Washington and Beckham and all this shit, and he wins. I'm like, whose fucking award was this? Who was the organization giving this award for a wrestler who's not even on television to win? Now, granted, he's an amazing dad. I imagine he's an amazing dad. I like him as a wrestler, but he's never on TV. He's on a piece of shit, I wouldn't say piece of shit tag team group or what have you, but they haven't done anything, you know? He's been a jobber for a couple of years now, and then he wins this. I wonder what he did outside of, say, being a dad and a WWE superstar for him to actually be noticed and then to win. Whose poll was this? Oh well. But we get a four tag team matches. Fuck, I can't even talk. A 4 tag team man match with the Ascension, Kid and Cesaro, Los Matadores, and the Lucha Dragons. Well, anyway, I don't know if this is like a number one contendership, because I guess it makes no sense for them to be a number one contendership because they got the Elimination Chamber coming up, and the tag team belts will be up in that Elimination Chamber match with like 7 fucking, I guess, the people in here, and then you got New Day, then you have PTPers, but we all see who's winning this because the Lucha Dragons actually get the actual intro. Everyone else gets the jobber intro, and now it just goes to show that it seems that Kid and Cesaro aren't that important at this time. I guess because they're going to have this whole clusterfuck of an Elimination Chamber match with all the tag teams involved. So they're focusing on the Lucha Dragons, which is a good thing. I like the Lucha Dragons. I think Kalisto is the breakout star here out of all these tag teams and all these groups. You got the New Day and the Primetime Players on commentary. And I will say only this. Xavier Woods has a future at commentating. I guess he wants to be a doctor. Maybe he'll be a doctor. He says, if you watch the E60 special on, behind the curtain of NXT, he wants to be a doctor. But, the guy can talk. And he was as better on commentary as, say, the actual Smackdown, Byron Saxton, Jerry King Lawler, and Tom Phillips. He's better than all those guys. So, if his wrestling career doesn't work out to a certain extent after, say, what they do with the New Day, put his ass behind the desk, behind the commentary mic. He's awesome. The Ascension, I'll talk about the Ascension because I am an Ascension fan, and they just come off a victory beating the Meta Powers, which is Damian, Macho Mandow, and Axelmania. I guess they're trying to be taken seriously again. I guess if they can get away from the whole, we're better than all the old school people and we can chill with JBL, burying them or quote unquote, putting up with them over the next couple of weeks, they can actually be a force in the tag team division. And in this thing, even though there's a lot of chaos, what we see out of Ascension is they are a powerhouse. Big power moves, big impressive power moves. So I'm going to keep my eye on Ascension. I only hope that with their name, the Ascension, they can ascend to be a tag team that's taken seriously. The Lucha Dragons wins. Obviously, they got I was like, let's set this up as best way we can by actually giving everyone the jobber intro and giving them the fucking, the intro on TV. But a very interesting, Kalisto, who is, again, he's going to be that guy. Between him and fucking Neville, I can see a WrestleMania with them, and it's going to be fucking fantastic. He gets the pin on this really athletic, unorthodox roll-up where he's on the top buckle, and his back is facing him. He jumps on his shoulders. Could have been something ugly, but he lands it amazingly. I think this is on maybe Tyson Kidd or somebody. It doesn't even matter. But he jumps on the fucking shoulders backwards, lands, rolls him up for the pin. So the Lucha Dragons get the win on that, and we'll see what happens on next week's Raw to how they're gonna be pushed even more forward towards the Sunday Elimination Chamber tag team title. Because if they did win the titles and you start a feud with the New Day, I think it'll be fine. But just don't ever put them with Los Matadores ever the fuck again. 2 weeks ago, they had probably one of the worst tag team matches I've ever seen in my life. And these guys are like, quote unquote, lucha guys. That shit was like lucha garbage. But anyway, we get Dolph Ziggler in the back with Renee Young, and he's just basically talking about how he's entering the IC, how he's had a shitty week, shitty week into a good week, and that he's going to enter the IC Elimination Chamber match, and how he's going to win. But we all know what this is about. He has a story right now with Lana and Rusev, and Lana is like, yeah, I wish you luck, and some shit. And Dolph's like, I watch this show. Well, anyway, I know you're playing games with Rusev to make him jealous. So I'm not going to sit here and be naive to this situation. But I like it. I'll be that obstacle for Rusev, basically. Just get your hot ass on my nutsack. You feel me? So we get a match with King Barrett and Ziggler. And I knew it was a done deal when Ziggler kicked out of Wastelands, which I still think should be his finisher. I like the bull hammer, but the bull hammer should lead to Wastelands, and that's how it should be. But he kicks out of that shit. Ziggler wins with a super kick into a zigzag after dodging a bull hammer. Then you get Lana on the fucking rope, on the ramp, applauding. Now, what's crazy about this is like the "We Want Lana" chants and stuff, and we'll find out Monday because we all know that SmackDown is canned noise. But maybe the steam of her actually jumping on to another dude outside of Rusev is going to actually hurt her. I think in terms of, "We Want Lana." It's like, well, we can't have Lana now because she's already fucking shacked up with Dolph Ziggler, which I like to think makes him the biggest fucking heel in the company. Like, give me a fucking break. But again, out of like between Vicky Guerrero, AJ Lee, he seems to be the Divas fucking stool to get to the top. And again, Rusev is done. It's been nice. Dolph Ziggler is just he's out of the fucking championship picture. I don't see him winning Elimination Chamber, but he's out of a title picture. His whole thing is to elevate Lana, and Rusev thing is only to elevate Lana, and this is all about Lana. So I'll watch it, whatever, but we know how this is all going to end. This is going to end with Rusev and Ziggler again. Well, Ziggler again is going to go into obscurity, and Rusev is going to be just another big man joke, because I see Ziggler actually beating Rusev, and then that's it. That's it for Rusev. Somebody was like, "Oh, you don't see this, you don't see." I was like, "Nope, it is done." His job was to be sold to Cena, to be fed to Cena, and that he did his job. It's been real. He's gonna end up tagging up at some point with El Torito or some shit, and yeah, it's gonna be a wrap. Paige comes out and she cuts a promo in the ring, and she addresses the idea of what happened in London, her winning the Battle Royal, then getting jacked by Naomi, and an awkward part of her promo calling Tamina a man. I'm like, we get it. You're a babyface. You don't have to do that. If we're cheering for you as a babyface, you don't have to question someone's appearance as a female. Yeah, I'm not like mega fucking feminist over here. I'm not even close when it comes to how women are addressed. But in this situation where Paige, you are the babyface, we are cheering for you. I know that like Tamina's involved with Naomi and whatever, but you don't. Or WWE scriptwriters and creative don't have her go down that route. It's dumb. It's not helping her whatsoever. Unless you really want Tamina to be fucking face. All right, because like that's the obstacle of her having a masculine. I think she's fucking sexy, but she does have a masculine physique. I mean, she's a fucking badass woman. That's what she is. She's a fighter, so she has a fighter's body. Not to say that it's masculine, it's muscle. So don't fucking like put her in a situation where she's China or some shit. She's not China. She's nowhere close to China. Okay, so like cut that shit out. And after that, you know, Naomi and Tamina come out, and Naomi is amazing on the microphone. Her shoot style is probably right now the best in the entire company. Like, just give her a mic and she could just fucking talk. Maybe she has like something from like high school or something. She was in the debate team or something. But like, I'm really amazed how well she can talk in front of a group of people and shoot and not fuck up. I mean, you got motherfuckers on the roster that just stumble through their lines and it sounds forced, it don't sound believable. This shit sounds believable from her, and it's to be taken really seriously. I'm looking forward to hearing her talk. Even though she doesn't have a lot of variation, this was the most of the variation she had. And like off the cuff, just like trigger words and then like just following shit up to make it sound smooth, especially when she got down to like, this is your house. Yo, we about to clean house. Like straight up. It was awesome. And Naomi and, you know, they go back and forth, but like Tamina and Naomi go into the ring, they attack Paige, and then Nikki comes out, quote unquote, for the save, takes out Tamina, what is it? Fucking super kick to Naomi, rack attack to Paige, and then basically what I thought was going to happen in the first place, that it was going to be a triple threat match. Like, Lord, fuck, seriously, WWE, if you guys that are watching this, if you've seen me over the past couple of weeks complain about all these fucking orgies, WWE's obsession with fucking orgies, three-ways, triple threats, fucking multi-tag team matches, all this shit. I knew there was going to be a triple threat at Elimination Chamber for the Divas fucking belt. It don't need to be. Naomi had her chance. She lost her chance. Make it a one-on-one fucking match. Why does it have to be a triple fucking threat match? These are forgettable matches. They will be forgettable in terms of who the fuck is who's taking part in them. I mean, who's gonna fucking stand out in a three-man fucking fight? A three-diva fight? A fucking six-person fight? This is all about the WWE. And anyone who complains about how they're not building future stars, this is the fucking reason. These three-man groups, these triple threat matches, these fatal four-ways and shit. Stop it. Like, nobody's gonna stand out. Next year, WrestleMania, we're gonna get all these people that are never on the roster the entire year. They're gonna fucking carry the WWE on their back, only to have The Rock, Brock Lesnar, fucking Triple H, all these people to fucking like stand tall at WrestleMania because these people are too busy in these fucking fatal four ways, these fucking like multiple tag team matches, and these three triple threats. These fucking triple threats. WrestleMania fucking main event was a fucking triple threat. It ended up being a triple threat. You know? The fucking triple threat with Brock Lesnar, Rollins, and Cena. Triple threat. You know? The fucking number one contendership. The fatal four-way at Extreme Rules. Like, give me a fucking break with these goddamn triple threat, this orgy. Stop it. Y'all gotta... We'll never get... As long as they keep doing this shit, we'll never get standout stars. Just to let you know. I'm just putting it out there. You'll never, ever have a standout star in this. A year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, nothing. They're going to mean nothing. It's all about the Shield. It's all about the WWE Shield. WWE. That's it. That's all that matters. Not Ambrose, not Reigns, Not fucking Orton, not Cena, not any of these people. The top of the top is about WWE. Alright, I digress. Let's get through the rest of this fucking thing, right? Bray Wyatt package on Ambrose. Alright, we've been here, done that. I'm still sick of like these epic promo packages from Bray Wyatt and them not imagining that he just loses. They mean nothing. This guy, the new face of fear, he's a new face of job. That's what the fuck he is. The new face of job. You think they give him a fucking win over Ryback to actually somehow get him back on course. Ha ha! You gotta watch the rest of this show. R-Truth versus Stardust. Stardust get the jobber intro. Truth wins. I don't know what the fuck I was doing during this match. I don't think I remember. I think I saw the glove go up in the air and the kick to the gut and the finisher by R-Truth. Stardust, because I guess they have to build R-Truth because he's going to be in the fucking Elimination Chamber IC match. Stardust, either two things, Stardust, because I used to love you. It's not as big of a deal for you to be Stardust in this character when your brother's gone, right? And you either get rid of this fucking gimmick, go snatch up your girl that does the announcement. Y'all guys be a fucking package. Let her be your valet. You go as Cody Rhodes as a guy who's like, fuck this, fuck all this bullshit, I'm better than this, right? Or take your ass to New Japan. Just go to New Japan. With the same gimmick, you'll be a multi-megastar. You'll be awesome. Just that's all I'm gonna say. But whatever. Right back in the back with Renee Young, and he's basically spitting a promo on the Chamber, how he's gonna win. And he's talking about how feed me more, you know, what is a lion? It was dumb. He's reading, whatever, who cares? But I think he asked Renee Young how she feels about, like, you know, a tiger with meat in front of it. And she makes a comment about her being vegan and that she doesn't even want to imagine what that is. So he's like, all right, well, I'll tell you, blah, 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 blah. End of the promo. But then he comes back. And this is the charisma of Ryback. A year ago, he did a house show. We got a house show coming up on the 30th here, so I'm going to be at that motherfucker. But a year and a half ago, he came with the house show to Greensboro, and it was one of the most entertaining matches I've seen. Because he has a lot of charisma. Like, a lot of charisma. If they let him be a charismatic Ryback versus kind of like a tough guy, you probably could get more out of him. Because the camera comes back, he's like, you know, he goes, well, I like to recommend a high protein blah, 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 blah thing because the big guy's quite a cook, you know? And that's the Ryback that he is. The guy has more charisma in his thumb than the entire Shield combined, you know? But they won't let him do it. It sucks. They recap Owens and Cena, and then they recap Owens and Samoa Joe. And I don't know what's going on here. Again, this is one of the reasons why it's good to be a wrestling fan, because we all know what's happening with Joe. He's still taking dates. We're still waiting for him to actually start wrestling at NXT, but for a very short amount of time. You got to get him already to the fucking main roster. Again, like, just bring him to the main roster, give him 3 years, put him in the Hall of Fame later, give him a job with the WWE, call it a gig. Owens, on the other hand, as NXT champion, going after Cena as somewhat of a hitman for the Authority, and I hope he moves in soon. He's facing Cena, not for a belt, but in the Elimination Chamber. It seems that Samoa Joe is going to be his foe in NXT. Maybe the two of them come up together. Maybe they don't even do that feud. Maybe Owens loses the belt at NXT and just goes to the main roster and fucking face Joe, and that's how they start their debut with one another. And one other thing I like to mention. A lot of people were talking about how Owens didn't get a big pop when he showed up in Baltimore. Some people knew, some people didn't. And that maybe this was going to be a detriment. I go like, wait a minute. What's great about wrestling? At being a wrestling fan? Like being like part of any other group. We have our own lingo. We have our own fashion. We have our own way of consuming things. When we use words like jobbing, when we use terms like hot tag, baby face, heel, turn, these are insider things. This is what sets wrestling apart from other inclusive groups of people. Now, if I'm in Baltimore and this guy comes out that I see a group of people going nuts about, I'm going to go, what's so great about this guy? Am I missing out on something? Let me go find out who the fuck this is. That's what's working in Owen's favor. If he's going to come to the main roster, that like it's the inside joke that no one gets. That they want to laugh. It's like the secret handshake that you see someone doing that looks so cool that everyone wants to do that secret handshake. It's that inclusive group of people that you definitely want to be part of. And that's what Owen is when he goes to the main roster, when his appearance on Monday Night Raw. So like anyone who feels like that was like this thing and that he came in and cut an uncomfortable promo, that's how he cut his promos. He stood his ground. I'm no Owen's mark. I'm just saying what it is. And for him to have this direct link to Cena right now is going to be awesome. I hope he's not like they do the Ryback thing with him or the Rusev thing with him. I think he has more longevity than what happens to him after Cena. I think if he aligns himself with Triple H and be like a henchman, like a one-man Shield, then you know what? We got ourselves a future Hall of Famer. But, yeah, the fact that people now want to know who this guy is, I imagine Kevin Owens on Google went nuts, or on Bing. I bet people, they got a lot of fucking traffic to that name, and everyone to get his wiki, to get all his information, probably on YouTube, matches that he's had prior with ROH and things of that nature. Everything works in his favor right now. So everyone, calm the fuck down. NXT's coming. They're moving in. They're moving in. So prepare for that. We get the meta. I think they call them the Mega Powers versus this is Axelmania, who are going all out. Axelmania, he's full out Hogan. They debuted that at the pre-show for Payback, and then you have Macho Mandow versus Adam Rose. He gets a cool little babyface spot on that E60 thing, and then he's just like, whatever, dude. And Heath Slater, who I love, but whatever, man. He'll never be more than a jobber. Fun fucking match. Axelmania with the hot tag. He goes Hulk up. It's fucking fun. Anyone who wants to shit on this, again, it's not what it is. It's not the black machismo. Shut the fuck up. All right? It's Damien fucking Macho Mandow. Whatever. Stop comparing him. Just, all right, he's not Jay Lethal. We fucking get it. So get off that whole, like, but he's not Jay Lethal. Fuck you. All right? We get it. Well, who's Jay Lethal? Whatever. It's not Jay Lethal. It's not the Black Machismo, and maybe he'll never be as good as the Black Machismo. But you know what? This is not for you. It's not for you. You who are complaining about the fact that it's not Jay Lethal, this is not for you. This is for people, that's for other people. This is for the enjoyment of people who don't know who the fuck Jay Lethal is, all right? Have fun, shut the fuck up, or just leave it alone. Axelmania comes in with a hot tag, gets the U in, gets the big leg, gets the big boot, gets the big leg. I mean, like, it's fun. The crowd likes it. Everyone's having fun. Next up, Bo Dallas in the back with Renee Young, and he's basically shooting on Neville. And it seems that this is going to be how we get Neville over. This is how we're going to get Bo Dallas back on TV. I wish Bo Dallas was like aligned with King Barrett, but that's not going to be the case. They're going to have a decent feud. I'm looking forward to it. And then we get to the main event, which is Dean Ambrose versus Bray Wyatt, rematch from last Monday Night Raw, rematch from a previous feud that they had, which was basically a hardcore match It went all through like the holiday season, and Bray Wyatt ended up becoming victorious. I think that was the ambulance stuff the motherfucking ambulance match, and I guess they're not necessarily rehashing his feud. I mean, I thought the feud was with Ryback from Bray Wyatt. I still feel that he needs to do a fucking feud with Orton. Stop fucking around with that. Go ahead and give him something. But before then, give him the win. Now, he beat Ryback. He beat Ambrose last week with a little involvement phone. But anyway, he won with a little involvement from J&J Security and Seth Rollins. And I thought, like, say from, I didn't get to mention it on Peter and Jake Talks Wrestling's last Wednesday's review on Monday Night Raw, but I found it very odd that Bray Wyatt was celebrating a victory knowing that there was involvement. And as he's posing in the ring, you know, with his arms stretched and all that stuff after hitting Sister Abigail on a Ambrose flying from the top rope, which was pretty sick, they weren't even concerned about the new face of fear. That is Bray Wyatt. Let's just say that he wasn't even strong enough to win a match on his own against Dean Ambrose. And as Seth Rollins and J&J Security are celebrating, you got this idiot in the ring, Bray Wyatt, celebrating like he was the guy who was responsible for the win. I just thought that was really weird, especially if anyone's going to try to take this guy seriously. No one's going to take him seriously with wins like this, and then posing like he actually won. Never mind, I digress. So we get this match. And I think out of all the matches, say over the past couple of months that they've been in, especially in their feud, and even the one on last Monday, this was probably the best match the two of them have had out of their entire series. Even this little thing right here going versus, say, the feud, you know, with the Christmas trees and shit, the ambulances and all that shit. This was a good match. I think it went for like 8, 9, 10 minutes of them just beating the living shit out of each other. And I think like Bray Wyatt, very much like Sheamus, I think he wants, because he's gonna lay some heavy jazz on your ass. But I think he likes the heavy jazz handed on him. I think that brings out the better in him. He can't get that out of Ryback. Again, Ryback is not a brawler. Dean Ambrose, well, quote unquote, on the other hand, is a brawler. Again, nothing against like their earlier feud, but like this, I think he got it. You know, Ambrose. This is more Ambrose was Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt let him beat the shit out of him, and then him retaliating and making it to an actual. It was a wrestling match, but it looked like an actual fight this time. Like it looked more like a wrestling fight, and it was fucking good. It was really extremely good match this was. But then the roll my eyes moment. J&J shows back up, and it looks like Bray's about to get the roll up, and you know he kicks out, and I'm like, thank God. So Rollins then appear, and then Reigns comes out as the equalizer. All I can say is poor fucking Bray Wyatt. You're really trying to push this guy. And if you're watching, if you listen on SoundCloud, I'm clutching my head out of frustration because Reigns comes out as the equalizer. And the match ends with the Superman punch from Roman Reigns to Bray Wyatt, which leads to a Dirty Deeds from Dean Ambrose for the win. And I really, seriously, it's my shake my head, clutch my brain moment where it's like, dude, Bray Wyatt is a wash. I think between him and Rusev, I don't know what the deal is. They just refuse to get behind the guy. They won't give that guy a break. And I understand this is leading to Dean Ambrose versus Rollins in the Elimination Chamber for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. But couldn't they bring out someone else? Couldn't they brought out someone else to take that fall? Why Bray Wyatt? This guy has superstar written all over him. I mean, he has the potential of a superstar. You feed him, you give him Cena for WrestleMania. You give him the Undertaker for WrestleMania. You don't give him the win for none of those. You give the win to what? You give him a win against Ryback and Payback, and then he wins with help, and then he loses. I don't know what the WWE wants to do with this guy. It blows my mind that a guy of his stature is he's nothing. He's absolutely nothing. And I shake my head. Roman Reigns, of all people, has to hit him. What, you gonna start a fucking program with him? Hey man, you interfered in my match, and I'm gonna go after you. To what? Lose to Roman Reigns now? I don't get it. And again, this is all part of the whole like orgy, 4-way, triple threat shit. It's that like no one ever again is going to be as big as Stone Cold. No one ever again is going to be as big as Ultimate Warrior. No one ever again is going to be as big as Macho Man Randy Savage, Bret Hitman Hart, The Rock. I already said The Rock. The Undertaker, Triple H, Shawn Michaels. Those super mega stars of those times. It's no more. It's no more. No more. No more. Hulk Hogan, no more. Scott Hall, no more. Diesel, no more. No fucking more. Will we see a superstar to the likes of those ever again? Because you know who the superstar is? The superstar is the WWE logo. That shield, the network. That's the superstar. No one's going to ever have the opportunity to break out and actually hold the place hostage now. Even more so with CM Punk. They tried before, it failed with CM Punk. Now, everyone's fucked. No one's gonna get like the push that they deserve. You look at Neville and you look at Kalisto. You look at what they plan to do with Owens. And I'm happy for these guys. Becky Lynch and fucking Sasha Banks and Charlotte Flair, Bayley, Paige, Naomi. None of those people are going to be as larger than life. None of them. The only person I see becoming larger than life is going to be Lana. That's going to be the only person they're going to allow to reach superstar status on that roster. And then as soon as she gets out of line, they're going to get rid of her ass and get another blonde in there. Another hot blonde in there. That's how this works. Bray Wyatt, man, had the potential. He had it. Now, unless they just reboot his ass, don't expect anything more out of him ever again. They need to put him in a match with Randy Orton. I've been screaming for that feud. I don't think that's going to happen. And if it does happen, but if it's Reigns, if it's Orton, he's doing the job. This is the WWE. This is the WWE. And I'll end on that. Again, next week, next Sunday, we got the Elimination Chamber prediction show. But we have the Elimination Chamber. The 7 tag team thing, the fucking World Heavyweight Championship between Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. We also have the Divas Championship, triple threat, triple fucking threat, and a whole bunch of other bullshit. Be sure to tune in this week, Wednesday, Peter and Jake Talks Wrestling. We're gonna do the review of Raw. We're also gonna give our predictions in video format. PJTWCentral.com for those who are watching on YouTube, and you're on the go. There's links to other ways you can listen, whether it's SoundCloud, Stitcher, Tumblr account. If you want to just plug your phone into your car while you're driving somewhere or something like that, you're in the office, you need a podcast to listen to. Again, you don't have to only have it on YouTube. You have those options as well. And yeah, subscribe. Hit the subscribe button below. Go to pjtw.com, subscribe to the Tumblr, subscribe to the Stitcher, subscribe to the SoundCloud. And like, comment, please talk to me about this and share. If I said something you don't agree with or agree with, just put it in the comments below, whether it's SoundCloud or YouTube, wherever. Share. All of you, if you just hit the share button, just share it with one other person. Just get the word out. And comment. Again, I want to open the discussion with you guys. If you want to talk some wrestling, some shit, I'm down. So, again, pjtwcentral.com, PJTW Central on Twitter, Ellen Japanese on Twitter, Instagram, SoundCloud, and Snapchat. So all those things, hit me up, and I'll see you. I didn't do a Raw recap this time because I was fucking exhausted, but I'll be back. I'll be back for the Raw recap for this Monday. So everyone have a glorious weekend, and I'll see you sooner than later. Peace.